The three lists that rule them all. And this is some of the most critical information that it's unfortunate how few home sellers are actually requested by their representatives to provide this information. There's three lists that are going to help you deliver a more valuable product. All of the value adding features of your property. List them out. This will come in very handy in a future lesson where you're developing your narrative, but all the value adding features, whether it is, high energy window treatments, whether it's a swimming pool or a storage shed, anything that adds value to the property, that sets it apart, that differentiates it, all value adding features. In my property, my house, I've got a full south wall of windows. I've got a wood burning, gas starting fireplace. I've got wood floors throughout. Okay. New paint. In all of the value adding features of your specific property, list them all out. Go room by exterior implement and on. And then the second list that you need to keep active is the list of improvements that you've made. I've been in my current home almost 14 years, and the running list of improvements that I've made to that property over the years is extensive, and I can still prove the details and show the costs of that and provide the contractor's name and number who was responsible for that work or who has warranties on that work, but all improvements made, list them all out. I've recently had a seller who was able to show $43,000 worth of home improvements to the property in the 4 years that he had owned it. He was able to get what he was asking because he showed the work. And the third list, this is one of those that is phenomenal to me, how few people really consider the import of. And that is a list of all of your negotiable personal property items. Many times sellers, homeowners are not, they just kind of assume a lot of things, but oftentimes they assume that the refrigerator, washer, and dryer just convey with the property. They don't. Those are personal property items. However, you may not want to move them. Okay. If you don't want to move them, if you would rather just sell them or get more of your purchase price or offset some of the potential future repairs requests that may be coming, make a list of all of the personal property items that you would consider selling and attribute in that list to that item a fair market value. That fridge is not new. Okay. It was $1,800 new. It's depreciated out. It's probably worth about $800 to $1,000. Washer and dryer, $2,400 new. They may be worth still about $1,600. Depends on how long you've owned them. But give them a fair market value and know and be able to prove. So many times I've had sellers would be willing to sell the entire home furnished, but that personal property holds a separate and distinct value apart from the real property. And you want to be able to prove it proactively ahead of time, attribute a value so that when they come back to you in your midstream through a deal and they request $2,400 worth of repairs that you probably already saw coming, but you were prepared because you could then say, well, listen, that's not critical to us. However, rather than us make those, would you be willing to have the fridge, washer, and dryer in lieu of that? Make a list, value adding features, improvements made to the property, and all of the personal property items that you would be interested in not moving for the right price. I've had deals actually stay together because sellers knew that the fair market value for their Kubota tractor that the buyer wanted to convey with the property just added another $3,800 in value to my seller's interest because he knew ahead of time. But those are the three lists that rule them all. And make sure that you can give an account for everything that you would be willing to sell with your real property. See you in the next lesson.